Welcome back to another game of GP Damascus. Now we have Purplemurasaki versus Chumbeque. Purplemurasaki is on Storm, so our Tongue Twister Storm, and Chumbeque is on Abzan Clerics. So Abzan Clerics isn't that fast of an aggro deck, mostly an aggro deck, I guess. It's a tribal deck, so most tribal decks are aggro by nature, but it's a pretty slow deck by aggro standards. So usually Storm would eat up those slowish, aggro, non-interactive decks for breakfast. The thing with Clerics is that they gain tons of life, and Purplemusaki's win condition is Unleash the Dragon, which is damage-based, and Leaf Down Sigil Mage, or attacking with Leaf Down Sigil Mage, which is also damage-based. So there is just a possibility that Chumbeque gains enough life to get out of range of Purplemusaki's combo finishers. I mean, Purplemusaki, if they manage to go off, can keep going off for quite a while, but they can't go infinite. So if Chumbeque gains enough life, they could just win by quote-unquote decking with Purplemurasaki. Purplemurasaki keeps a 5-card hand, and yeah, not a very good hand for them. They need to draw land, and they need to draw cantrips. Are they just planning on rushing the Grasp for Understanding? Well, either way, Chumbeque gets lead off with Fluff Puff Whisperer, so not Soul Sister. Ideally, Chumbeque wants to lead off with the Soul Sister, but that's still fine. They have a 1-drop. And they're looking to turn 3 to Endless Helpless Souls, I guess. Purplemurasaki does draw a land. And the Chumbeque draw it? No, they don't draw a land, so somehow, I don't think, even though they've got a curve, their cards haven't come together this game because they don't have a Soul Sisters in play, so they're not getting life. And since they aren't getting life, the Keeper of the Sanctums aren't getting their synergies. So Purplemurasaki, I guess they're deciding whether to fetch before drawing or not. They're deciding whether they want to thin their deck so that they don't draw more lands. I guess something interesting that you can do with Leaf Down Sigil Mage is that if you adventure it, then it's not going to get exiled by Grasp for Understanding, so you can cast it in a later time. Oh, Purplemurasaki even draws Tongue Twister. So are they just going to ritual out Tongue Twister? I think they might just do that. Probably a good play. And I don't think Chumbeque has any way to kill the Tongue Twister, so Purplemurasaki just gets to untap with Tongue Twister and play next turn. And they have Grasp for Understanding, so next turn I guess they can do something like Scintillate and then Grasp for 2 and then hope to hit stuff. So yeah, Purplemurasaki is going to ritual out the Tongue Twister and probably pass. Tongue Twister also blocks some of Chumbeque's 1-power creatures. So Chumbeque's looking to draw a land this turn so they can EHS on turn 3, and they get the land. That's quite good for them. Let's see what they hit off EHS. Purplemurasaki mentioning that they could have tried for more. Yeah, they could have like ritualed. They had 3 rituals, so they could have played 3 rituals and a Tongue Twister, and then also Grasp. But maybe that was way too ambitious. Purplemurasaki actually calculating chances. So Chumbeque gets a bunch of 2-drops off the EHS, which is what you want to be doing, but they don't actually get a Soul Sister, so they're not getting their life gain triggers. And Purplemurasaki can pretty safely just block Fluff Puff Whisper here and take 5. I guess they try to go off next turn. And yeah, they take 5 from Perish Paragon. Let's see what they draw. Volcanic Pounce. I don't think that's what they want right now. They'd rather get something that either makes them mana or draws them cards, but like at a better rate than Volcanic Pounce. Okay, Purplemurasaki is getting ready for the Grasp for Understanding. So what are they going to try to do here? I guess double ritual and then Grasp. The thing is, grasping is also advantageous for the opponent because then Chumbeque just gets to get a new hand, and then they can probably draw into a Soul Sister, which would gain them life and get the triggers. Purplemurasaki leads off with Leaf Down Sigil Mage, making 3 mana. They have to Scintillate here, right? Otherwise, well, actually, no, they can Scintillate and then Volcanic Pounce to get back to even, and then Grasp for Understanding. And that would make them Grasp with 4 mana floating, I think. Yeah, Purplemurasaki can Scintillate for 1 mana because of Tongue Twister even, and then make 3 blue. They have 2 red and 3 blue floating, and then they spend 1 red on Volcanic Pounce to get back to even, and then they Grasp for 2 mana, and then okay, they're just going to Grasp right now with 1 mana floating. Do they have a way of making more mana from 1 mana? I don't think they do. By doing this, they're kind of just, I guess they're going to grasp now and then try to go off next turn. And they're just hoping that they don't die to whatever Chumbeque's doing. But like, Chumbeque does threaten lethal pretty easily. Okay, yeah, and Purplemusaki's grasp resolves. And they do get, oh wait, they have a land, they're right, they have a land drop remaining, so that's where they're getting their extra mana from. So what, they can have Scintillate plus Leaf down Sizzle Mage as their rituals. And they can try to get Flatbolt Artisan into play, which will reduce the rituals to 1 mana, and then they also hit the Conjure Realities, which they can get on, if they can get on evens, then they can conjure for 2 mana and then find something. So they're not going to Nebula for green. I guess they're just planning on getting Conjure Realities mana from some other source. Either ways, they're going to start by Leaf down Sizzle Mage, make mana. I guess Purplemusaki can play Flatbolt Artisan, they'll Scintillate for 1, and then what Flatbolt Artisan is even. I guess that makes them waste an even. For me, it doesn't matter. So Flatbolt Artisan even, Scintillate odd, Tongue Twister even. So they're gonna lead off with Scintillate, I guess, just to try to get the evens. And then the Flatbolt Artisan is odd. Okay, yeah, I guess that works out better. And now they get to Tongue Twister evens for 1 mana. And that draws them 6 cards. And they're really hoping to draw into more rituals. And okay, Chumbeque has lost connection to the game, but Purplemusaki is still going off because Chumbeque can't do anything, they're tapped out. So yeah, the true solitaire experience. The entire game depends on whether you can figure out how to navigate the combo. Opponent's actions be damned. And Purplemusaki doesn't find a ritual. Okay, that's bad for them. And that was on an evens too, so now they're back to odd and they don't have mana for grasp, right? I guess they can Volcanic Pounce and then hope to draw into something. Yeah, they're going to their Desperation Volcanic Pounce trying to draw something. They get Monkey Shines, and no, that's not what they need. No, they're just going to have to pass the turn. I mean, they still have a lot of stuff floating. Like, they have 7 cards in hand and 3 things in Adventure, but... Or actually, no, right, they can Grasp for Understanding again. Does that help them at all? They can't make extra mana off this thing, right? They're out of mana now. I guess they're just grasping for next turn. Chumbeque refuses to copy. And yeah, Purplemusaki ends the turn, so let's see if Chumbeque can get lethal this turn. And they have all of the stuff that's exiled off the copied Grasp for Understanding, so maybe Chumbeque has a way to win. Purplemusaki is kind of forced to chump block with stuff at this point. And they have extra protective... Well, they don't actually have extra protective memories. I guess Chumbeque's best plan is probably just to end the Helpless Souls, and then hope to hit into more Tribal Lords. Purplemusaki kind of needs Tongue Twister in play, but they can afford to chump with Flatbolt Artisan, I think. Or I guess the opposite is also true. Actually, can Purplemusaki go off even if they lose both of their creatures? What, next turn they play a land, but all the lands... Yeah, so they play a land, and then gets Flatbolt Artisan, and then Scintillate. Well, yeah, Chumbeque plays Soul Warden and Endless Helpless Souls, and I guess sees what they hit. They get Dark Sand Acolyte and Soul's Attendant. I don't think that's... Well, it definitely is very dangerous for Purplemusaki. They're going to have to chump Protective Memory and Paris Paragon this turn. And they're getting slapped for 5, and then Dark Sand slaps them for 1 more, I think. So they're still alive, but they're going to have to lose both creatures. But maybe they have enough to rebuild. Or not rebuild, but like restart the combo. Yeah. I mean, Purplemusaki is forced to chump here, right? I mean, if they don't chump, they're getting killed, so they definitely have to chump the Paris Paragon. I guess they're deciding whether they also want to chump the Protective Memory. And if they let it through, then they're taking 9 damage, and then 3 from the Acolyte, so that's 12 in total, and that prevents them from activating Crystal Cavern. So yeah, they're forced to chump. Purplemusaki instead decides to chump Fluff Puff Whisperer. Or, no, they're not chumping, they're actually just blocking. Okay, that makes sense. And then Dark Sand Acolyte whacks them down to 3, so they still get 2 more Land activations. Okay, that works out pretty well for Purplemusaki. And another Grasp for Understanding. Well, they have more grasp than they really know what to do with at this point. Okay, Purplemurasaki is starting off by playing a ritual and copying it with Flat Bolt. Well, actually, right, Purplemurasaki has 2 basic in play, so Crystal Caverns isn't pinging them. So now they have 6 mana, and no more rituals, I think, so they do need to find something else to do. I guess something that they can do is play another Flat Bolt Artisan, play Nebula on green, cast Conjure Realities for only 2 mana, and then copy the Conjure with Flat Bolt Artisan. I think that's what they're doing now. Or they're going to Grasp for Understanding and hope to hit a ritual off the top. I mean, I guess that works, because worst case scenario where you don't hit a ritual, just Nebula on green and then Conjures for a ritual. And after that, actually it doesn't really matter after that. I'm thinking whether to copy the Grasp for Understanding or not. I think Chumbeque probably wants to copy it, that way if Purplemurasaki doesn't win this turn, the next turn they have way more options to get lethal. Although, to be fair, Chumbeque is presenting lethal already, so not like it really matters. If Purplemurasaki doesn't win this turn, then Chumbeque wins. So Purplemurasaki does manage to hit rituals off the Grasp. So he probably breathes a huge sigh of relief from that. Although, again, they had the contingency plan of Nebula on green, Conjures for a ritual. I'm assuming the rituals are going to be copied with the Flat Bolt Artisans. And that Purplemurasaki is going to play down even more Flat Bolt Artisans until everything just gets cost reduced to nothing. So they're playing, okay, they're first playing Leaf Down Sizzle Mage. Are they going for the Unleash kill, or are they going for a Sizzle Mage kill? I guess they're probably going for the Unleash kill, because Chumbeque has way too many creatures on board, and Pierce Paragon is just absorbing all the damage. Alright, Chumbeque's gaining life off Purplemurasaki playing creatures, so every Flat Bolt that Purplemurasaki plays makes it harder for them to win through Unleash the Dragon. So, lowest studies. Okay, there's another Flat Bolt Artisan, and that's 3 more life for, is it 3 or 2? Yeah, 2 more life for Chumbeque. So what is Purplemurasaki's win con here? I guess basically they just need to, they're using Tongue Twister's Adventure to recycle stuff from their graveyard. I guess they just need to get the storm count high enough, and then they copy the Unleash the Dragon with their 2 Flat Bolts. So in that case, they just need around, yeah, they only need to get to 10 storm count and then double copy the Unleash with their Flat Bolts in order to win. And that's actually, they're pretty close to doing that right now. And they have enough rituals to get enough mana to conjure realities for what they need. So yeah, now they have the win. They play Nebula on green, play Conjure for Unleash the Dragon, and then double copy it with Flat Bolt Artisan. I guess Purplemurasaki just getting some more mana while they're at it, just to make absolutely sure. Oh, they already had Unleash the Dragon? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, their entire playable hand is over the entire board right now, so it's kind of hard to see everything that they can do. And yeah, so that's game 1. I'm pretty sure more than half, well, not even more than half, maybe 90% of that game was spent on Purplemurasaki's turns. And yeah, that's Storm for you, except this Storm's even more stormy. So looking at the sideboard, Chumbeque they have removal and they have duress. But this Toddy stops Conjure Realities, I guess. Cognitive Fumigator and duress both hand attack and L body kills Tongue Twister at a pretty decent rate. And then Bahoom doesn't really do much. So yeah, Chumbeque probably bring in all their hand hate and their L bodies. And meanwhile, Purplemurasaki doesn't really have to worry about anything, right? Yeah, because Chumbeque doesn't really have anything that interacts. I guess they can bring in Fire Rager if they think Chumbeque deck's a bit too fast, but Chumbeque's deck is pretty slow for a tribal deck. I think Purplemurasaki might just run back the deck as is. Okay, we're back for game 2. This time Chumbeque's on the play. Actually, were they on the play last turn too? Last time? Well, they draw way better hand this time. They have 2 Soul Sisters, plus Dark Sand Acolyte, plus Sun Sigil. So yeah, they have life gainers and the life gain payoffs. And Purplemurasaki gets a pretty good hand too. They have Consult Ancient Knowledge, hope to draw a land, and then Flat Bolt Artisan, and then a bunch of rituals. So yeah, pretty ideal hand for both players. Purplemurasaki is going to lead off with turn 1 Consult Ancient Knowledge, discard to hand size, classic. Oh, more consults. Yeah, that's not good. Are they going to discard infuse to hand size, right? No, they're going to discard volcanic pounce. Are they planning on infusing eventually? Honestly, yeah, maybe. Or no, they discard consult ancient knowledge instead. So Dark Side Acolyte plus Soul's Attendant, paying Murasaki down. Oof, still not a land. Those Purplemurasaki Monkey Shines or Consult. They're gonna Monkey Shines. Hope to hit a land. Still not a land. Okay, yeah, that's not good. They're gonna have to discard to hand size yet again. And they might, yeah, they're gonna discard Conjure Realities. That's something they can infuse back if they ever get the chance to. In terms of probably playing Seeker plus Souls, or another Seeker, or another Keeper of the Sanctum. They're not going to play Soul's Attendant, so I guess they're keeping up value for whatever cost reducer Purplemurasaki plays. Or, no, they're not. Are they? Okay, they played it. They sequenced it incorrectly. Or actually, no, they haven't. They didn't sequence it incorrectly because Sanctum, the Keeper of the Sanctum, isn't once it or it's first time you gain life, not only triggers once per turn, like the new wording. And does Purplemurasaki draw a land? No. They can still dig for a land with Consult, but if they miss again, then they're gonna have to discard even more cards at hand size, which is both sad and hilarious, honestly. But maybe that's just karma for hogging up the entirety of the game one's clock. Either they get to do nothing, or the opponent gets to do nothing. They're not going to consult ancient knowledge. Wait, so they're not going to consult to dig for a land. Is it because they're afraid of giving Chumbeque more cards? I mean, at this point, if they don't, since they don't have a land, there's like, they should be consulting, right? Just to find lands. And Chumbeque swings in with their 1/1s and 2/2s, but that's a lot of them, so I think Purplemurasaki is just dying to Dark Side Acolyte now. So yeah, not the best showing for the deck for game 2, but now Purplemuраsaki's on the play in game 3. Okay, Purplemurasaki has a hand with lots of rituals, but no cost reducer, and no card draw. Chumbeque has a hand with Soul's Attendants, a lot of Soul Sisters, but no payoff. You might keep anyways, because they got a hand attack and a removal spell. Purplemusaki's thinking long and hard about whether to keep or not, and they mulligan. I think this hand's probably better. But no, Chumbeque decides to mulligan their hand too. Well, now they're definitely keeping this one because it has 2 Endless Helpless Souls. But Chumbeque did mulligan away their hand attack, so Purplemurasaki has more free reign now. And Purplemurasaki is definitely keeping this hand because they have the cost reducer curve, and they just need to draw some card draw in order to really go off. And Chumbeque's in the bottom one of the Endless Helpless Souls. I guess they think that EHS on turn 3 is a bit slow. They need to win before Purplemurasaki combos off. And yeah, Chumbeque draws another land. Purplemurasaki draws Monkey Shines. Okay, yeah, that's card draw. I think Purplemurasaki is probably just going to run out Clapboard Artisan this turn. And Chumbeque draws another land. Yeah, not a good draw for them. So I wonder if they should have bought him something other than the second EHS, because a lot of times how these EH decks win is just by casting 2 EHSs. Well, now Purplemurasaki gets turn 3 Tongue Twister, while they're not under that much pressure, so they're pretty advantaged right now. Although I guess they might want to save Tongue Twister for the wheel. And that's actually not a bad play, right? So you Scintillate, copy Scintillate, play Monkey Shines, play Tongue Twister's Adventure, draw 4 cards, I think, and then see where that gets you. Oh, they're going to copy the Scintillate. Which, yeah, that makes sense. And I guess they Monkey Shines now. Now Purplemusaki's thinking. I guess, I mean, if you have a cheap spell that you can cast, then you should be drawing it off Monkey Shines. Well, they bought 2 things, and okay, they get another Flatbow Artisan. They're probably playing that and then playing Tongue Twister. And now Tongue Twister costs 1 mana, or at least the adventure part. Oh yeah, I guess playing creatures does gain Chumbeque a bit of life. And Tongue Twister comes down, or at least the adventure part of Tongue Twister. So Purplemurasaki is hoping to draw into rituals. Actually, drafts, or wheels or rituals, both of them are pretty good. Wheels and rituals means they get to continue to go off. And Leaf Down Sizzle Mage is a ritual, but doesn't make blue mana. And maybe Purplemurasaki is slightly regretting using up all of their blue mana here. And they just pass without, and just let the 2 red floating go away. Yeah, I guess I mean, technically it is a fizzle, but they're not too bad of spot. Well, maybe they are, because they get up another Tongue Twister with a decent storm count. They need to Monkey Shines dig into something that gets them more spell casts. I mean, they have the ritual, at least. And yeah, EHS comes down. If Chumbeque hits Cognitive Fumigator, then that's really good, because that gets to natural Purplemusaki's pieces. Although if Chumbeque does flip Cognitive Fumigator, I'm actually not sure what I would have taken there. Well, it turns out it doesn't matter, because Chumbeque doesn't get anything that attacks Purplemusaki's combo. And they can't even, well, they can attack, because Protective Memory is giving tribal buffs, but Flappa Artisan will just wall the Soul Wardens, no problem. In fact, they can even like double block one of the Soul Wardens and kill it. So Chumbeque's probably not attacking here. Also, it seems like Chumbeque has a really unfortunate draw. They have 3 lands left in hand. And Infuse the Apparatus, does that do anything? No, not really. Purplemusaki's really looking for a good hit off Monkey Shines at this point. I wonder if it's worth copying Monkey Shines just to draw extra cards. Well, Purplemusaki's not going for that risky of a play. They're just going to Monkey Shines and hope to hit something. Get Sear Flesh. Okay, so they boarded in Sear Flesh, huh? Well, the problem right now for Purplemusaki is that they're kind of low on blue sources. Like, they need to use a blue source to play Tongue Twister, so I guess Purplemusaki goes Sear Flesh, Sizzle Mage, and then Tongue Twister's Adventure. Where does that get them for storm count? So 1, 2, 3, 4, draw 4 cards. Might be good enough just to do that. And then I guess you hope to hit one of the non-Leaf Down Sizzle Mage rituals that you can make blue mana off your red mana. Okay, Purplemusaki plays Shugenja Sanctuary and Sear Flesh. They're killing Dark Satin Acolyte just to get it out there, but mostly just to build up storm count. So Sizzle Mage, and then I guess they're going to Tongue Twister with the storm count of 4. Draw 4 cards, hope to hit something. And let's see what they can get. Okay, yeah, they get Grasp for Understanding, and I think that's gonna let them continue combo. I think this might just be it for Chumbeque. Purplemusaki just has to grasp for 2 mana, and then hope to hit a ritual into 7. Okay, now that's a much better hand for Chumbeque, but they probably won't have a chance to play any of those. What does Purplemusaki hit? Oh, not what they want. They still don't have a blue source. I guess they can play Leaf Down Sizzle Mage and then Flap Out Artisan. Just keep playing out your Flap Out Artisans. I think that's not too bad of an idea. And then next turn or maybe you just leave these guys in exile, and then next turn you try to get another small Tongue Twister adventure. Yeah, something else that's good about Grasp is that it makes Purplemusaki's immune to Cognitive Fumigator. If Chumbeque gets in their turn, all they can really do is out body and then Endless Helpless Souls. And then I guess they tried to hit something good off EHS to put pressure on Purplemusaki, and then out of body one of the flat boats. Yeah, Purplemusaki just passes. And Chumbeque draws a card that doesn't really matter. They're going to play from exile for now. Actually, maybe they play Soul's Attendant plus EHS and hope to air Dark Satin Acolyte, which would team Purplemusaki for a bunch. Nope, seems like they're going EHS first. I guess they're planning on keeping up out of body then. Soul's Attendant. So okay, yeah, that's not very good EHS. At least they get to gain a bunch of life. So now every creature entering the battlefield is 4 life at Chumbeque. With that much life, Chumbeque might just be out of range, right? And Purplemusaki has already used up a bunch of their Flappo Artisans, and they need to use up some more to copy the rituals. So Purplemusaki can't just run out of damage in their deck. Purplemusaki thinking about chumping the Protective Memory. I mean, they're not really threatened right now. They can just... Okay, I guess they're deciding whether to double block or not. They decided not to double block. They'd rather preserve their life total. And they're going to... Chumbeque's going to out of body. Okay, yeah, I guess that's why they didn't double block, because out of body blows out the double block. Or not blows out, but prevents the double block from really doing much. Oh, and by making a token also gains Chumbeque life from Soul Sisters, so yeah, that's a pretty fun little synergy. And Conjure Realities, that might just get what Purplemurasaki needs. They probably want to leave down Stone Mage here, maybe copy it. Well, they can't really afford to tap out red because blue is precious right now. I guess they at least have one more blue source. So yeah, they're gonna lead off with leave down Sigil Mage. And not going to, so like maybe flat. So are they gonna play Flatbolt and then Conjure? Yeah, Flatbolt Artisan. I'm thinking about deck, and I feel like something Purplemurasaki might eventually have to do is use their own Seer Flashes on their own Flatbolt Artisans to kill them and use so that they can use it with Sun Twister's Adventure to shuffle it back in their deck so that they can reset the tail. Actually, something similar with the Tongue Twisters, like killing them that they can shuffle them back in. Purplemurasaki is going to Conjure Realities now. Are they going to copy it? Yeah. I wonder what they're doing with that. I guess probably maybe fetching a ritual plus a Tongue Twister. Or maybe 2 rituals. Yeah, okay, they're just getting 2 rituals that way. So now they get to, I guess they can consult and then venture the Tongue Twister. I mean, consult is free now because you have 2 Flatbolt Artisans reducing the cost, so well, they're going to infuse now. And I guess that makes sense. So that gets them 4 spells. I mean, they could have consulted first, so that they could have also gotten consult off the infuse. But I guess maybe they don't really care about that at this point. Maybe they don't have the right mana to. Either way, it's a pretty small infuse. Nothing like the big infuses of the pre-nerf infuse decks. When they're going to copy Grasp, so they only have 1 more Flatbolt Artisan left in the deck, so if they're going to use Flatbolt Artisan to copy something, or copy the Unleash, then Unleash is going to have to hit for 25-ish. I guess 23. So Purplemurasaki needs to get their storm count to want to live a bunch of soul sisters, so yeah. You need to get the spell storm count to 25 so that you can Unleash and copy it with Flatbolt in order to one-shot Chumbeque. Maybe Purplemurasaki didn't cast Consult because they're worried about decking out. And to be fair, that actually is a problem, or is a concern with Tongue Twister, because you're using Tongue Twister to recycle your graveyard, but if your storm count gets too big, Tongue Twister will cause you to deck out. Or actually, Purplemurasaki didn't actually, did they use the second tail? And now Purplemurasaki is just snapping off the rituals. And then Conjure Realities, probably for more rituals. And Purplemurasaki needs a way to build up storm count that doesn't involve drawing too many cards. And then I guess they're planning on Tongue Twistering after they're done going through their first loop. Or, oh yeah, they can, like, I guess they can Tongue Twister back the Unleash, and then that gets them like 3 Unleashes total, which reduces the storm count that they need to get to before they can win. Okay, Purplemurasaki finally playing Tongue Twister, helping Unleash back into the deck, and drawing 17 cards. And yeah, that's Unleash again, and that's a Flatbolt Artisan, and I think that's the game. You know, Purplemurasaki just playing out a few more rituals before finally going off the win. And yeah, there's Unleash the Dragon, and that's being copied by Flatbolt Artisan, so yeah. Well, that was a very long series of games. Maybe they won't be super long once they're edited down and a lot of the tanking is edited out, but definitely quite long for me to sit through.